I'm Larry Fedoruk. This is I Was 8. As you are about to hear, this weekly podcast is memories. Memories of growing up in a small Canadian prairie town. On next week's episode, my less than romantic encounter with a stop sign. But now, where were we? Oh yeah, memories. I was 8.
Season 3, Chapter 5. You must remember this.
When I was 8, I became obsessed with remembering everything. It started because I had seen a show on TV where a guy got amnesia. He couldn't remember who he was, how he got that big bump on his noggin, but he remembered all kinds of other stuff. He could still tie his tie. Coffee, cream and sugar. Eggs over easy, please. That's the way I like them. He knew how to ride the bus, but he didn't know who he was. Later in the show, the police find his wife. And he couldn't remember her either. She was like, "Your name is Steve. You're a salesman for the screwdriver factory. I'm Doris." But nothing could jog his memory. All right, so spoiler alert. Turns out he wasn't the real killer after all, even though he couldn't account for his whereabouts the night of the crime, and they found the bloody screwdriver in his car. The crusty police detective believed him and let him go, but ordered him followed. Then, in a scuffle with the real killer, he bumped his noggin again, and he and Doris lived happily ever after. Whew, that was something. But wow, amnesia. I sure didn't want to get that. How do you get it? Well, noggin bumping. I could start wearing a helmet all the time. Could I wear it in church? What about if I rolled out of bed? I'd have to wear it sleeping. Mom, Dad, can I get a helmet so I don't get amnesia? No, and you're not going to get amnesia. Yeah, well, I don't even remember being born. That was like 8 years ago. Maybe I have it already. Steve on TV had it, and when he came around, he couldn't even remember having it. He had amnesia about his amnesia. Well, you could see how this all began to vex me. I couldn't imagine waking up one morning and not remembering my life or my family, so I started this routine. I'd wake up in the morning, and before I even got out of bed, I'd check myself for amnesia. Your name is Larry. You live in Waukau, Saskatchewan. There's Mom, there's Dad. Your teacher is Miss Lauren. Your idiot friend is Philip. Yesterday you played Parcheesi at Rolly Messner's house and then rode your bike home. Your bike is red. And so on until I was satisfied that I had retained most of my life to date. One day I was crawling under my bed looking for something, and when I was crawling out, I bumped my head. It hurt, but I didn't have time for the pain. I just immediately started reciting. Your name is Larry, you live in Waukau. You have 2 Uncle Joes, a good one and an evil one. Your bike is red, Philip is an idiot. Steve on TV had amnesia. His wife is Doris. Detective Saunders knew he wasn't the killer. Ben Cartwright has 3 sons, Adam, Haas, Little Joe. They live on the Ponderosa. Wrigley makes spearmint, doublemint, and juicy fruit. Whew. Wow, that was close. For gosh sakes, Larry, be more careful with your noggin. I began to believe that you could just catch amnesia, like it was just in the air, like Brenda Rosebach at school who always sneezed. And if she sneezed on you and had the amnesia germs, you would get it. And then suddenly it's, who am I? I saw this other TV show that said some diseases were carried by mosquitoes. That made sense to me too. If you got bitten by an amnesia mosquito, game over. Yeah, amnesia and the possibility of amnesia was worrying me for sure. I kept up the memory checks. I started saying, "Hello, Larry," out loud every morning when I looked in the mirror. It was going okay until suddenly one day a series of events. Mom asked me if I'd raked up the grass clippings like Dad told me to do. No, I forgot. And I wasn't just putting it off or trying to get out of it. I'd actually forgot. Mom asked Dad if he picked up milk on his way home yesterday. No, he forgot. Mom wanted to read a magazine that just came in, but where did she put that mail? She forgot. Maybe our mail had been forwarded to the country of amnesia. Oh no! Amnesia had entered our home. It was the beginning of the end. How long before we were just three strangers walking around the house? Hello, you in town? I hope I remember how I take my coffee. Oh yeah, I don't drink coffee. Well, I hope I remember that I like candy. Later, my uncle visited. He was in town picking up a flugelrod for the tractor or something, and he brought the original invoice because he said he couldn't remember the part number. This is worse. Amnesia probably runs in our family. I was just learning about that, how things run in the family. You're just like your father? Right. Obviously, we were all getting it. I'd have to find out more about amnesia without alerting or scaring the rest of the clan. We had a set of encyclopedia. I looked it up. Didn't learn much there. Stupid books. I learned more about amnesia from that TV show than I did from Britannica. Of course, it was TV that came to the rescue once again. This guy came on this show. Just this ordinary guy in a suit and tie, shiny haircut. They took him to the middle of the stage and they took a sheet off of a table. On the table were like 30 things, and he looked at them for just like a minute. Then they slid this wall between him and the table and told us that he had never seen these items before, and there was no list to read from. Right, audience? Then he began rhyming off everything that was on the table. Radio, coffee mug, Mickey Mouse toy, pencil, baseball, soup can, cufflinks. It was brilliant! And a couple of nights later, same guy on a different TV show. Same suit, different tie, different table, different items. And he did it again. Hairbrush, camera, wallet, toothpaste, harmonica, ukulele, bow tie. Wow! Of course. That was it. That's how you battle amnesia. You just remember everything on purpose. It would be the opposite of amnesia. Amnesia. Pronesia? Well, something. Think about it. When you're tired, you sleep. When you're hungry, you eat. When you're cold, you put on a sweater. When it's too hot, you run through the sprinkler. You are in control. When amnesia threatens, you just remember stuff. I was already on the right track with the morning recitations and the "Hello, Larry." That was the answer to my problem. Thank you, TV. I'll never forget you. This began my quest to remember everything. Everything. Hello, Larry. Mom, Dad, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, school friends, school not friends, but I need to remember them, school teachers, school books, 2 plus 2, 2 times 2, 3 plus 3, 4 plus 4. Number 7 for the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Magnificent Seven, Ocean's 11, the Lord's Prayer, Hail Mary, Archie, Jughead, Betty, Veronica, Reggie, Moose, Pepsi, Coke, 7-Up, Fanta, Old Dutch potato chips, Snap, Crackle, Pop. If it says gratis on the box, something's free inside. This is middle C in the piano. My baseball cards are in the sock drawer on the left. This is my left. This is my right. Oh, you know, when you start taking stock like that, you realize that even by 8, you've accumulated a lot of knowledge. The trick was to remember it in case amnesia decided to strike. It was exhausting, because not only did I know all that stuff, but every day there was a series of new events you had to add to the memory bank. Had pancakes this morning. 2. Rode my bike to the vacant lot. Me and Philip threw rocks at a tree for half an hour. Later on, Fred Flintstone was kicked out of the Water Buffalo Lodge. Dad changed a tire on the car. Back left. I also began to be curious about how much other people remembered. Dad, for example. Hey, Dad, do you have any good stories from when you were a kid? Well, this one time I was very excited because I got new shoes for school. What color? Brown. Oh, good. What day of the week was it? I don't know, a Monday? What pants did you wear? I don't know, I guess my usual ones. What color were your socks? Was it hot that day? Did the teacher say anything about your shoes? What did you have for lunch? What did you learn at school that day? I'll tell you, it was a little worrying. There was a lot Dad didn't remember about the new shoes story. Missing details were disconcerting, to say the least. After a few days of this, Mom noticed, I guess because to aid in my attempt at remembering everything, I began narrating my life out loud. I'm having a glass of homogenized milk from Palm Dairies, and now will take the 14 steps up to my room to get my brown ball glove from the second hook in my closet. Philip, whose birthday is 1 month before mine, and I will toss the ball around in the backyard of his house, which is white with a yellow door. I don't know if Mom thought I was on the spectrum or what she diagnosed, but she realized something was different here, and she wanted to know what was going on. I came clean and once again related my concerns over amnesia. Oh, that, she said, she remembered. Well, that was a good sign. So Mother explained that in life we simply don't remember everything. We remember what's important to us. And really, a lot of little things that happen along the way aren't that important to remember. At least, not every detail. Some things you'll forget right away, and other things you'll remember all of your life. That's the way it works. And no one is going to get amnesia. Probably not. And the fact that Grandma was starting to forget things was much different, and not to worry. Well, that helped a bit, I guess. I did take a break on the daily exhausting recitation ritual. Still said hello, Larry, in the mirror. Figured if I knew that in the morning, the rest of it was probably in there somewhere. I thought after our talk that I would in fact naturally remember the important things. Whatever they were, how would I know what's important? Well, you'll remember it. That's how you'll know. Example, okay, well, think of something. Okay, here's one. Bugs Bunny is on Saturday afternoons at 5. I remember that, because obviously it's important. But then I decided to go on another quest. I was going to see if I could remember something unimportant for the rest of my life. Was that even possible? This turned out to be much more exhausting. What to remember? Having a glass of Kool-Aid in the kitchen, favorite flavor, red. Running in the schoolyard, picking crab apples in Lloyd's yard. I'd choose one to remember and then the next day forget which one it was. Remembering something ordinary forever was hard. But I kept trying, and there is one, kind of a weird one. One day we were visiting folks in another town. The grown-ups drank, played cards into the night. Eventually I was put to bed under some coats in a spare room. When it was time to go, Dad carried me to the car, laid me in the back seat. We headed home. Yeah, I had no seatbelt or restraint of any kind. Dad had had a few pops. Crazy. Somehow we lived. I was half awake for a bit, and as we drove through this town, I could see some streetlights going by. And wearily, I said to myself, this. I'll remember this all of my life. I did. Even in the telling of that brief moment, it's like I'm there now. What an odd thing to remember. I also remember next day was Saturday, woke up, hello Larry, remembered to go to confession in the afternoon and then race home for the Bugs Bunny cartoons afterward. Yeah, I remember a lot from those days very clearly. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Overture, curtain lights, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And oh, what heights we'll hit. On with the show. This is it. Amen.
I Was 8 is a weekly storytelling podcast written, produced, and voiced by Larry Fedoruk. A new episode every Thursday on all major platforms or Larry's I Was 8 YouTube channel. Tell a friend about his podcast and reach out to Larry Fedoruk, that's Fedoruk, at larryfedoruk37@gmail.com.